We apologize, Bethel Park. We're having technical difficulties here. This is a live TV show. I have to talk to some of the volunteers here. We're looking for new volunteers. Please call 412-831-3304, or you can call me on my cell phone, 412-973-9611. Devin Shea, please don't text. Matt No Show Harkins, don't text me. And the Tiger, quit playing games in here. We're looking for 3 volunteers from age 10 on up. Anybody in the Bethel Park School District area, you're more than welcome first. That was our little public announcement. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Chip the Prophet Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier, Zach Brenner. We're all here, and this is Pittsburgh Sportsline. Oh, we got a text.
Oh, no, they're calling from the control room. That's how original they are. We can hear the
No, I got a call from...
I want to volunteer. Can I volunteer?
Smoking Jim Frazier, you can volunteer, but you're basically useless. Sorry, folks. This is not a meltdown. This was part of our pre-planning. Since you're on this show, let's do something to help somebody else and others.
Let's.
Can you get that? One of our guests, Stephen Englert, is hosting this. Hoops to Hearts. Wow, Smoking Jim won't stop. Smoking Jim. This will be on the 12th of September at the South Park Fairgrounds. 3-on-3 basketball. They have so many great sponsors there. Get a team. Bring a couple teams, 3 players. It's a great cause. You'll help people with heart disease and everything else with the American Heart Society. So he come up with that. Smoking Jim, I recommend you playing it. With the mysterious illnesses you had over the last year or so, we still have not pinned down what happened before the car accident and after. He looks healthy. Well, not that healthy, but he's my friend and he's doing all right. Quit texting me. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching us locally in Bethel Park, Comcast 7, only Comcast 7. Now, on Verizon 32, you guys can see us in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin up to Cranberry, Wexford. And I did have somebody from Wexford just said they're watching our show. So I appreciate that. They know where we're at, and they watch us all the time. So, oh, man, I got to get it off of vibrate here. Devin Shea, what...
Welcome to the 21st century.
It is. He said you did carry something yesterday, but you were asked to do it. You didn't volunteer to be a volunteer, so there are stipulations on it. All right, we do a sports talk show, and we do talk about a lot of sports. So any of you that have watched us before, you know what we do. Chief, don't choke on those peas with that mashed potatoes and steak, all right? We're just being a little silly here, and somehow we got caught off guard for the 88th time in a row because I've been keeping track. That's how good Devin Shea is in the control room. He's consistent. Badly. We have an opening segment where we talk about what's on our mind. But first, I got to tell you, the likes were holding steady from yesterday, 4,719. So we appreciate all those likes. To do that in less than 2.5 years, I appreciate everybody that's liked us. Even Smoking Jim, it did take him a while to like us, so you know how he is. He's just a little bit behind with 300,000 text messages and emails. And that's a legitimate number. I've seen 253,000, so I know he exaggerates. So that's part of the issue there. And that's some of the stuff we bring here. We try to be honest, but don't let the facts get in the way of your opinions about sports. And we're going to start off right now with what's on your mind, Zach Brenner.
Well, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, during that little intro there, the build-up to it,
Which one?
I was thinking a lot about the Buckeyes and the Cardinals pivotal series that's coming up. No, I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Please don't do that.
Well, it's really on my mind tonight, folks. Smoking Jim Frazier.
Man.
When you bring a cancer into the locker room and he breaks your franchise quarterback's jaw, don't have anybody to blame other than yourself. And that's what the New York Jets have, folks. They brought in a troubled linebacker who broke Geno Smith's jaw.
Yeah, because Geno owed him money.
Wait. Hold the phone. To equate Geno Smith and a franchise quarterback in the same sentence is a travesty. Geno Smith is never going to be anybody's franchise quarterback. Just saying.
All right, well, what happened, Zach? I heard he owed a lot of money.
Apparently, it was over $600, Smoking Jim Frazier. That's a lot of money. Then I don't know. But apparently, Geno Smith and the troubled linebacker got into a physical altercation in the locker room, which led to Geno Smith sustaining a fractured jaw. He'll be out 6 to 10 weeks for the New York Jets. But that's in New York. Let's
they fired the guy. He's off the team.
Oh yeah, he's cut.
You didn't even say that.
He's gone.
That's a key point to this when you're
gone.
bringing up nonsense.
Well,
with
a troubled
Pittsburgh.
linebacker, they already knew he was troubled coming in. He assaulted a police officer during his college days.
Well, since you're on this story and you thought it was important enough to be what's on your mind, what I wanted to know is, what do you think of a franchise quarterback that would borrow $600 from a guy who's a little bit crazy?
Or not pay his debts.
Well, first, to borrow it. The other one is, I know what you would do if somebody's not paying you back, so that was mild.
Well,
he's a franchise quarterback in your mind.
Not in my mind.
Well, then why'd you say it?
League sources said this, Smoking Jim Frazier. You know how league sources can be. I didn't say this, Chip Hainer. I didn't like Geno Smith as a Mountaineer, let alone as a Jet.
Can you roll the tape back so we can see what he did say? Because I believe he did say. He didn't say the source.
Hey,
now you're saying sources.
Jim and I have been ragging on him for 2 years.
All the time.
Well, with him now we do. Okay. Are you going to get down to what's really on your mind?
Well, like I said, that's what's happening in New York. Let's take it to
we all know
Pittsburgh,
the news in sports. We're sports
PA,
nuts.
Where Sean Sweezum, our reliable place kicker, like I touched on a little bit last night, had a great show. But Sean Sweezum decided in the third quarter on the kickoff to try to stop a player from advancing the ball on the Vikings and tore his ACL and will subsequently be out for the entire football season, leading us to have to bring in a kicker who we signed today in the name of Garrett Hartley, who kicked 3 field goals last year for the Cleveland Brownies, and now he's coming to Heinz Field to kick for your Pittsburgh Steelers. So I just continue to question Mike Tomlin's and his whole entire coaching staff, the whole entire front office approach to some of these things. Why you have a kicker that we're going to need so crucially during the season out there in the third quarter of a meaningless preseason game when you're allowed to have as many as 100 players on the sidelines. We couldn't have had Jeff Reed out there kicking that ball in the third quarter. That's what's on my mind tonight, folks.
Wow, we got no sources on this young man. Wasn't your hero, didn't he play for Cleveland and one of the greatest head coaches Pittsburgh ever had?
Smoking Jim.
You love Cowher.
Oh, Bill Cowher. I love Bill Cowher.
No, I can't believe how disrespectful you are to this kicker because he could be another Bill Cowher, and here you are not even giving him a chance. Unbelievable. And thank you, Zach. I appreciate all that. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
all right, don't break it.
You got to see Levine. I had to stretch out.
It was a little short.
Yeah. You may wipe that sweat off your brow.
Yeah, that's it, man. Had some great cupcakes before the show at Bethel Park Bakery. Looking forward to the 60-year anniversary. Also got a little breaking news. Sunday at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I'll be on KDKA Radio. Could be my last appearance ever on KDKA. I got a lot to get off my chest, so please tune in.
Chris Moore.
1020 KDKA from 4 to 5 on Sunday. But what's on my mind is the Pittsburgh Steelers in the third round drafted Sammy Coates, and I'd rather have Sammy Davis Jr. Hey, listen, this is a guy that runs like he's the hunchback of Notre Dame. I said before the draft it was a terrible, terrible pick. This is a guy that's unreliable. He dropped 20% of his passes while he was at Auburn. He runs kindergarten pass routes. He looked horrible in the preseason game this past Saturday. And the Pittsburgh Steelers problem is this. You waste a pick with Sammy Coates. Then you give up a future fourth-round pick for drafting Landry Jones. You give up a future third-round pick for 5'9" Shamarko Thomas. And then you give up a future fourth-round pick for Boykins. And the Pittsburgh Steelers can ill afford, as poorly as the talent is on their defense, to keep swinging and missing by grabbing guys in the third round on the offense that is probably, arguably, not only the greatest offense in Steeler history, but maybe the greatest offense in NFL history. And that's what's on my mind.
Smoking Jim.
Greatest
Thanks.
offense in NFL history, Levine. You just remember that one.
Arguably.
Well, you know we always say.
Now, the offense last year was the only offense in NFL history that had 3 players in the top 2 in the NFL, with LeGarrette Blount, Le'Veon Bell, Brown, and Roethlisberger.
You know what? I love when you bring facts up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Chip the Prophet Hayner, what's on your mind?
Well, thank you, Alan. And just a little sidebar to what Zach was talking about.
Always.
What in the name of everything
Why
that's
can't we all
holy
get along?
is Sean Sweesham doing out there trying to tackle somebody on a kickoff in the third quarter?
Zach actually said something.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
here's what, breaking news. He was trying to teach Jarvis Jones how to tackle.
It was improper technique on both accounts. He got rolled up.
But you ask me what's on my mind, and
Yes.
You have to know it begins and ends with the Pittsburgh Pirates. An amazing 3-game series this past weekend. We didn't get a single win out of any one of our starters, and the bullpen, which we happened to bolster at the trade deadline, pulled our fat out of the fire, and the offense woke up. Swinging the bats, swept the Dodgers 3 games in a row. We have 3 series, the Dodgers this past weekend, the Cardinals tonight, and the New York Mets. 3 teams are each in first place. This is a great measuring stick. And the Pirates always play well against the better teams in the league. It's when they play the Milwaukee Brewers and the Phillies or something along that line that they don't seem to win so much. But they play very well against the upper crust. And right now, we've played 10 games against the Cardinals this year. Our record against the Cardinals is 5-5. The Cardinals have scored 39 runs. The Pirates have scored 38 runs. This is about what you can expect. I would expect to see 3 one-run games, not like the last time we were in St. Louis where we lost all 3 of them. I look for us to win 2 out of 3. Love to see another sweep. It would put us 2 games back behind the Cardinals and in position to win the division and get away from the accursed. Who said that at the beginning of the year? Get away from the accursed wild card game, which my friends here to the left pay no credence to, or they feel that it has no validity, even though the defending world champions, San Francisco Giants, but they were a wild card team last year. So were the Royals, who were running away with the American League this year, but that's just.
It doesn't matter.
But that's what's on my mind. I'll tell you what, the next 7 weeks are just going to be great baseball to watch. We're in a pennant race. It's going to be tooth and nail. And the Pirates do have contributors from number 1 to number 25. Everybody on the team's pitching in. McCutchen is playing like the MVP that we know he is.
Did his hair grow back?
No, it sure didn't.
It is growing back. You see it smoking, Jim.
Again, no facts.
No facts.
You know what?
But the fact of the matter with the Pirates is that from top to bottom, they're getting contributions from every member of the team. So that's what it's going to take to win the division this year. Contributions from all 25, and we're getting them.
There's your Bucko segment tonight, folks.
Well, the Steelers segment's done too. So if you want to call in, because we're going to need segments because we're shutting our mics off as soon as they mention Steelers. So thank you, folks. 412-831-3304. What's on my mind is we had great pizza, man. That slice that Ryan gave me. Frank, you got one of the best pizzas in the area. Call 412-831-1900. Smoking Jim, I get a little email from them that they have, don't tell anybody, $1.99 pizzas still.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see the sign.
Oh, we're on
It's
air.
out there, Smoking Jim.
Oh, no, it isn't out there. You got to get an email and be on the rewards program.
Oh, okay.
So
I saw some.
Yeah, you have to actually answer some of the emails that you get.
300,001. But that's his thing. My thing is I'm just positive about sports in Pittsburgh. I'm a huge Steeler fan. I bleed black and gold. These debunkers over there think if you like a pennant race, they don't know in the 70s. Anybody in the 70s remember the Steelers finally weren't the same old Steelers? They won 4 Super Bowls. Man, if you talk like people that are on our show, 40 years, I got to give them another 25 years to prove something. Wrong. They started doing it in the early 70s. Amazing. After 40 years of losing, and they played tough, and we had a great tradition, even great players. No wins. Unbelievable. Well, the Pirates, 20 years of losing. Might as well bring it up. Now 3 years of winning. I mean, after they lost the first 2 games of the season, it was over for Smoking Jim and Zach Brenner. So it shows that they really aren't Pirate fans and never will be. All this other talk, it's just talk. So we'll wait 5 more years for Zach to see winning records. Smoking Jim, baseball's just some fun and games, which I appreciate. And what I'm going to do is enjoy what's called a pennant race. And what does that even mean? Smoking Jim and Zach will have to learn when we talk about some bucko talk, what pennant races mean. Because obviously, after a whole year of this nonsense, they still have not learned, so it may be painful. And if you want to call in and interrupt, maybe some of Zach Brenner's friends in Munhall, all 3 of them that watch the show on YouTube, they could call in if he text messages them now, or anybody else is welcome. So that's what's on my mind.
Hey, the Sandbox boys are about trophies. When was the last time those Buccos hoisted a World Series?
La 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 la
Holy
la la.
smokes.
If he were born in the 60s and watched the 70s,
There
we're
you
not
go.
answering any phones. I don't even know what I hit now. Hello. Hello. Welcome to our show. Anybody there? Guess not.
Dial tone.
Yeah. Oh, well, they missed out, so. Yeah, your points are well taken, Zach, with people that hate. So we understand that. This is winning bucko season time, and it doesn't matter about the trophies, because if that were true, you would have never become an owner of a football team. I didn't see their trophies and all their years of trophies. So, I mean, let's call it what it is.
I mean, they had plenty of trophies at the horse track. They had plenty of money, so it wasn't like they were banking on the Steelers winning or losing. You know,
Who?
he had other rackets going on. The Chief.
I'm not
Other
talking.
rackets going on. You're talking about the Steelers being the same old sad old Steelers before I was even born. Decades.
That's
before I was even
absolutely
born.
nonsense. He was a gambler, a bookmaker, and everything else. So what?
So he
I'm
had
talking
other rackets.
Steelers. Does anybody know Steelers and the McGinleys were partners with them? This is history. You can't revise history. History is history. The Steelers were lovable losers.
For a long time.
That's
40 years
there isn't
they
any
won.
doubt about it. You're a revisionist. I'm not even giving you the dictionary your mother gave me because you guys got to look it up. You could say whatever you want and try to revise it. I lived through it and I know. People didn't have Steeler gear on. You never even saw it. When people got it, they didn't really wear it. They said thank you. It was a rarity. That's how it was.
That all changed in 1972.
Exactly. But that's the story. From 33 to then. That's amazing.
Right, because the Immaculate Reception game was not a sellout. It was blacked out in Pittsburgh.
Franco's Italian Army.
It was
Frank
still blacked
Sinatra
out in
was there.
Pittsburgh. It was not a sellout. It was the last Steeler home game that was not a sellout. Everyone since then has been.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had season tickets. They used to drag you there
I
when
think
you were a baby.
I think the funny part about it, Smoking Jim Frazier, really to me is that, you know, when they were having the fire sales and nobody was spending any money and McClatchy was doing whatever McClatchy was doing, I don't recall, I mean, I didn't know those two gentlemen to your right, but I don't think they were as pumped up and fired up about a 182-game baseball season when that team was so atrocious.
162.
Well, just so you know what kind of a fan I am, I've been let me see, a very I can't, my words are, for 55 years, I've followed the Pirates. I've followed that team through thick and thin, but that's what being a true fan is. You stick with them when the chips are down.
Well, here's another thing since
Fanatic?
I'm not buying it.
Zach Brenner come to the show just a couple years ago. Now, when he come here, I said I was still a disgruntled Pirate fan. I'd been to games every year. It may have been 1, it may have been 2, it may have been 20. And was I happy with what I saw? When they were all on drugs,
The tickets
was
were
I happy? When I saw Dale Barra falling down out of a bar, was I happy about it? No way. But now you talk about this, we'll argue all day. I can't even agree to disagree because what you're saying is so out of context. It's only a personal opinion. And I love to argue that. Your personal opinion, that's you.
You're entitled to it.
I'm trying to give you some facts about what people and experts were around. Yeah, I went to games. They sucked. Was I happy each year with what they were doing, fire sale or not? No. Was I happy they got Derek Bell so he could have a yacht and watch the Pirates and then get paid to laugh and smile and say, no, I'm not coming back? And they go, we need you. And I'm like, don't even get him back.
No,
You know, like even Jason Kendall, should they have signed him the big money contract? Yes, because of the PR.
True.
With the PR, because they were behind him.
Through it all, you know, the thing about baseball, the reason why I love baseball, my father was a baseball coach. Okay, he coached Little League, and he molded the lives of a lot of young men. But he instilled for me the passion and the love for the game of baseball and the love for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And every time I go to a ball game, it just reminds me of that time in my life. And I just, you know, that's the feeling that.
Yeah, but how did you feel when they were losing?
I wasn't happy, but
Okay.
I still was there rooting them on.
That's my point. You don't have to be a Pirate fanatic and ignore the losses and the misery of no starting pitchers after they get rid of everybody. If every starting pitcher that got traded, they became 20-game winners.
When they talk about prolific franchises, Smoker Jim Frazier, they're going to talk about the 6-time champions on the North Shore, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're not talking about the battling Buccos. That's it.
True.
They'll talk about the Penguins before they talk about the Buccos.
This isn't a debate. Your debate, you win in your own mind. We're talking about sports in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We're talking about what fans are, true fans. You either like a team, love a team, follow a team.
And right now they're the most popular team in the city.
That's debatable.
Okay.
Now, this is just a question.
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know if you guys seen the ratings. I sure didn't.
Yeah.
But I would be curious to see who got the
preseason football game, NBC, was one of the highest rated preseason football games of all time.
And that beat the
6.9.
Pirates. And that beat the Pirates. See, that's why I figured that
Crushed it
would do.
into the outfield.
I figured that's what it
This
would
is
do.
why I call it hate. For the simple fact, I'm a Steeler fan and a Pirate fan. It was so painful watching the game. I loved when they interviewed Jerome and had him on there. That was great. Other players in the Hall of Fame. I watched it for that. The play on the field was one of the worst coached games and played games that I've seen in Pittsburgh history.
There wasn't even a game plan.
And when you see the film, Smoking Jim, you can tell me how great it was because you're Bud Dupree or whatever. Just fantastic, number 48. I mean, and these are new players that we're hoping help us out. So the opinions are great. You're what they're judging it. I don't know who the supreme being that judges the greatest team has 6 Super Bowls or the Pirates don't.
What I don't understand is why does our love for the Pirates make him so angry? I don't know. What's it do?
I don't know. I got the
figure
same
that one
love
out
for the
for me.
Steelers.
We're not. I'm entitled to my opinion. I don't care for.
Now it's
I don't
an opinion.
care.
We were supposed to listen to it. Now it's an opinion. I
It is
rest
an
my
opinion.
case. I rest my
Is
case.
it not spoken to?
How about
Am I not entitled to my opinion?
You're entitled.
In the United States of America.
Yeah, but when you come out saying that, you're not asking about opinion. You're telling me facts. You just had the facts.
Okay.
Now we'll move on with the opinions. Smoking Jim Frazier, I'm ready for some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and I'll go real quick on
Why
this.
would you now?
Is most people know by now that I'm the only sports writer in southwestern Pennsylvania history to win the National Golden Quill Award, and it was thanks. We'll see.
First time he's ever cheered for you? He's looking for an ally?
It is because of a magazine article that I did on the globally known and world champion at the time, Paul Spadafore. So I guess me and Paul Spadafore is kind of tied at the hip like Howard Cosell or Muhammad Ali. And the reason I brought that up is I think I'm the only one here that went to see the movie Southpaw. And it's, to me, there's a lot of similarities to Paul Spatafore's background. And to drive that point home a little bit is the executive producers for Southpaw is two brothers, Bob and Harvey Weinstein. And they actually flew Paul out to New York a few years back and talked about his background and past to do a movie. And then all of a sudden they come out with the movie Southpaw. So I kind of agree with Paul Spatafore that maybe he has a legitimate gripe, and this is the Pittsburgh kid who's never really gotten a break. And if they have something due to come to Paul Spatafore, I like to see him get it. And that's my fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. I owe a lot to Paul Spatafore.
Yes, you do, and you're loyal. I like how you're loyal. And why didn't you say how Chuck Wepner actually sued Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, and it took years. I had to tell Smoking Jim, because he doesn't follow the facts very long, that it took years to get that money, and there was no guilt involved in it, just some payoff.
Paul needs his money now.
Well, it's too late. It's too late. You're one of his entourage. So you're one of the entourage, so I advise you to get an attorney for Paul, who I like, and I understand what he's talking about. And I understand they did take some of it. Maybe they plagiarized part of his story, not the whole story, because I saw a lot of previews. It's a lot different. I don't remember his wife looking like that or having a daughter. So I'm confused how they just stole everything.
I mean, there's subtle tweaks, Levine.
Subtle. That's the stars of the show. Again, these opinions are just unbelievable. And that's why we bring you here, because if you want to hear nonsense and opinions, don't just talk to your husband or wife or your kids. Please talk to Zach Brenner and Smoking Jim Frazier. Don't try calling that phone. I don't know what happened to it now, but it's out of control. Late breaking news. This will help substantiate some of the things that Chip and I have been saying. Minnesota had the highly rated, watched Steeler. Was it Minnesota? Yeah, Minnesota was playing. In Minnesota, it was the number one watched game. Then, across the country, people noticed it was the only football game on.
Duh.
And guess what happened in Pittsburgh? Because Mr. Duh, you won't believe what the ratings were.
What's that?
I just got this from CBS. The ratings, the Pirates outdrew the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
I need numbers.
Contact Matt Harkins, who just pulled this off.
Okay, all right.
We're definitely not. We know you didn't get that.
Come on, man.
Well, here's the best part about it.
Listen to him.
Here's the best part about it. For anybody that's watched the show since Zach got off probation,
Take your lumps like a man.
anything he says is a fact until we question it. Then he's allowed to have an opinion. I rest my case. Chip, let's get the trivia time.
Let's get the trivia time. All righty. Then we'll start out with some quick baseball trivia. Then I'm going to kind of segue into some football trivia. Maybe even something that involves the second most popular team in the city, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, we're going to go.
This could be one of the best shows not ever watched in Munhall on YouTube.
So I've got some baseball trivia here.
Levine's own family
Gonna
don't even
run down
watch the show.
Zach, please. I'm in the
My
middle.
sister Hope
Okay.
watches our show, religiously in New Jersey because that's where she moved. She grew up in Pittsburgh and likes all sports in Pittsburgh.
I know, she tells me.
I know. She doesn't even contact. All right.
All right,
Let's
to start
get Chip's trivia.
Start with the trivia, and I'm going to go fast and furious here.
All right.
August the 8th, 1998, Paul Molitor stole his 500th base in a 6-3 loss to Minnesota loss to Baltimore. He became the 5th player with 3,000 hits and 500 steals in baseball history. Joining him in that club were Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Eddie Collins, and Lou Brock. Pretty esteemed company there. Second greatest pitcher in baseball history, Walter the Big Train Johnson, who was one of the original inductees into the Hall of Fame that was not a unanimous selection. Walter Johnson pitched the Washington Senators to a 7-2 victory over the Cleveland Indians for the first of his 417 victories, August 7th, 1907. August 7th, 1999, Wade Boggs became the first player to hit a home run for his 3,000th hit in baseball history. Greg Maddux on August 7th, 2004 became the 22nd pitcher in Major League history to win 300 games. August the 5th, 1921, very famous day. Pittsburgh radio station KDKA and announcer Harold Arlen provided listeners with the first broadcast of a Major League game. The Pirates beat the Phillies 8-5. KDKA's been doing it a long time. Also, another little Pirate tidbit, August the 5th, 1969, Pittsburgh Pirates slugger Willie Stargell was the first man to hit the ball out of Dodger Stadium, a feat that he accomplished twice. And he's one of
Chavez Ravine.
He's one. It's been done 4 times, and it's been done twice by Willie Stargell. So a little hat off to Pops. The ball landed 506 feet from home plate. What we got here? Oh, okay. August 3rd, 1949, the NBA came into being. The NBA was formed by the merger of the National Basketball League and the Basketball Association of America.
What year?
1949. 1949.
You weren't born yet, buddy.
Do you know who the logo on the NBA, the silhouette for the NBA logo?
Mike?
No, it's Jerry West.
Jerry West.
It's Jerry West. Couple more here.
Should be Jordan.
August 10th, 1944. Charles Red Barrett of the Boston Braves threw only 58 pitches to beat the Cincinnati Reds 2-0 in a 9-inning game.
Wow.
You think he threw a couple of strikes?
Have somebody do the math down there because they only have facts.
Yeah.
Divide that out.
Yeah. August the 10th, 1971, Harmon Killebrew became the 10th member of the 500 home run club. But to kind of wrap this up, don't forget.
You dropped the Steelers.
No, I didn't drop the Steelers thing, but I believe that was a notation of the day that Jesse Owens won the third of his 4 gold medals in the 1936 Olympics, which was August the 5th, 1936, against, it was in Berlin. Adolf Hitler was watching in the master race, and Jesse Owens took 4 gold medals home. First time that happened in the modern day Olympics. But Saturday, it looked like Heinz Field in Canton, Ohio, when they did the inductions into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
There was as many terrible towels waving there as you see at Heinz Field on any given Sunday. Really rousing tribute to the popularity of Jerome Bettis, deservedly the 23rd inductee from the Pittsburgh Steelers organization into the Hall of Fame. And I'm going to run through very quickly for you the members of the Hall of Fame that are tied to the Steelers. 1963, Burt Bell and John Blood McNally. 1964, the Chief was elected in the second year. 1966, Bullet Bill Dudley and Walt Kiesling. 1967, Bobby Lane, who probably made the biggest mark in his career as a Detroit Lions quarterback. 1969, Ernie Stautner. Ernie and Bobby used to drink up at Dante's in Brentwood, not far from where I live right now.
Number 70 jerseys retired by the
Yep.
Steelers.
1987, we waited almost 20 years before Joe Green and John Henry Johnson were elected into the Hall of Fame. Jack Ham went in 1988. Mel Blount and Terry Bradshaw in 1989. Franco Harris and Jack Lambert in 1990. Chuck Noll in 1993. Mike Webster in 1997. Dan Rooney in the year 2000. Lynn Swann, 2001. John Stallworth, 2002. Rod Woodson, 2009. And 2012, Jack Butler and DeMonte Dawson. So that gives you a wrap-up of the Steeler inductees into the Hall of Fame. And don't be surprised if you don't see the next inductee becoming Alan Faneca. Keep an eye out.
There's only 3 guards in the Hall of Fame, but he's deserving of it.
He won 8 or 9 Pro Bowls, right?
He was one of the greatest I've ever seen. But a little tidbit from Jack Butler. Jack Butler hit at he was the executive director for over 40 years. Munhall guy. Blesto, yeah. And so he was the guy that hired as a scout Tom Donahoe, who eventually went to general manager. And in '84, he hired Kevin Colbert and taught him the game. And Kevin Colbert, because one of the L stands for the Lions. So Colbert went to the Lions.
Well, those were the teams that they scouted for. It was a scouting consortium for those
Bears,
teams. Right.
Bears, Lions, Eagles, Steelers. And so that's why you see a lot of the general managers and scouts for those organizations got trained by Jack Butler.
Well,
52 career interceptions, number 2 of all time when he retired.
You know, and one of the people that I'm surprised that didn't make it, and if he did, you know, he didn't make it as a player, I think he certainly deserved to make it as a coach, was Dick Hoke. I mean, Dick Hoke, I mean, for 40 years he was the Steelers running back coach. He coached Franco Harris. He coached Jerome Bettis. He
coached the best, Barry Foster.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, look at the Steelers' running game in the 40 years that
Good point.
If there's anybody I feel that's deserving of the, and
Dick Hoke was a heck of a running back.
I've met Dick Hoke on a number of occasions, serviced his house, and what a nice gentleman he is. He's somebody that really is deserving of.
He is.
What about Donnie Shell and Kevin Green?
Yeah.
You know
I think they could get in.
I honestly think Alan Faneca will probably be next. I mean, if you think about it, I think he becomes eligible this year.
When's the last time, other than Jack Butler, when's the last time a white Steeler went in? Was that Jack Ham? So, yeah, Faneca's due.
No, it might have been Bradshaw. Bradshaw.
When you talk race, like Smoking Jim does, almost every show.
See, I don't see color when I see Hall of Fame. You know, I see the colors I see are black and gold, Jim.
All right, trivia time's done. Let's go for round 3, folks. This is Z time after we heard all facts. I can't wait for his factual report now.
Zach Brenner on the left side. I just want to.
Is this going to be opinions?
On a serious note, a factual, serious note.
Okay.
Jim Fraser, Chip Hannon, Alameda. R.I.P. to Frank Gifford. Nobody said any mention of R.I.P. to Frank Gifford.
Well, he was a giant.
In the industry,
yes,
too.
He was, yeah.
In the industry.
One
of the greatest guys there.
My question that I want to pose tonight on Z-Time to the panel, esteemed panel, to my right, is Jerome Bettis truly one of the all-time greatest running backs? And is he really, truly worthy of being in the Hall of Fame, Jim? Because all the great ones averaged at least 4.0 yards a carry. Jerome Bettis came in at 3.8 for his career.
Well, Jerome Bettis was a different type of a running back than a lot of featured backs. I mean, Jerome was a big man. He was built more along the lines of a fullback, but he had the feet of a tailback. And if you look at the way the statistics go, and if you just look at the top 10 running backs of all time, he's number 6. For me, it's a no-brainer.
Well, Chip, I brought up about Smoking Jim went in a little explanation how he is one of the greatest, so I don't want him to repeat the whole thing. But I did mention about his feet because he was quick and he was nimble. And they used him, like you're saying, on short 1-yard, half-yard situations. And he was one of the best at converting those 3rd and 4th and less than 1. So that made him a Hall of Famer in my mind. The team needed him to perform at the level he did to actually win. And he did that each time. It was rare that he would fumble even, except for the Super Bowl when he gave credit to Roethlisberger on making a tackle, or he would have been a
championship.
Yeah, he would have been a GOAT, never gone to the Super Bowl.
But even though he's number 6 in all-time rushing yards, Smoking Jim Fraser, when you name the top 10 running backs of all time, you're not putting Jerome Bettis in one of those top 10 slots. I'll give you some names of some all-time greats: Gale Sayers, Jim Brown. You know, like you can't. He's not in that kind of category or level.
No, but could he be in the top 10?
But the thing is, you know, look at the longevity he had. Okay, and you know, you're trying to take a modern day mindset and think about the way things were 15 or 20 years ago. And for Jerome, it was 20 years ago when he started his career. But football has always been 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And I mean, and it was always based around the running game. Football has evolved now around the passing game and gaudy statistics. But, I think Jerome's credentials for the Hall of Fame are valid, and I think he's very, very deserving.
I mean, he
No
couldn't
question.
block. He couldn't really catch too many passes out of the back.
He was a devastating. He was a devastating
all-time.
I don't
He
know
was
how
a
you could say he
devastating
couldn't block.
blocker,
He was a fullback,
at Notre Dame,
and he blocked a lot.
He was
a
underrated,
good
very
blocker.
underrated blocker.
No,
Yeah.
and I
Definitely. I got to disagree
But
on
he
that.
wasn't called, like you said, he wasn't called upon to do a lot of things that he could do. He had good hands too, but
They'd send him out once in a while,
Yeah.
but that
I mean,
was
he had
it.
But
Like
here's what made Jerome Bettis, in my opinion, should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame. He said something in his speech that made me say he was a first ballot Hall of Fame. Should have been. He says Bill Cowher should also be in the Hall of Fame. And to me, when you say something like that, and that's true, you know
Yeah,
a
but
Hall
you
of
have
Fame, a Hall of
blinders.
Famer know a Hall of Famer when
No.
he sees him.
No, they don't. Not until they're in the Hall of Fame.
I take
There's
it right after that.
295 in the Hall of Fame for a reason. Smoke and Jim should not be allowed to vote for anybody in anything.
I got a Heisman vote.
Well, that doesn't even matter.
Seth Russell.
You already,
He already punched it in.
yeah, it doesn't even matter because that shows
But you know,
how honest he is.
You know, one of the things I think that's a drawback to Bill Cowher and his candidacy for the Hall of Fame is that I think maybe one day he'll get elected in. But I mean, there are so many coaches that have won one Super Bowl, and I think really to make yourself worthy of being elected into the Hall of Fame, you've got to have a little bit more on your resume than what Bill has. Now,
Hit
be
the
honest
button
with
for
you,
Smoke and Jim, though.
Well, be honest with you.
Beep.
Bill Cowher, in reality, should have won, I believe, at least 3 and possibly 4 Super Bowls.
Well, he has a better resume than John Madden, and John Madden's in the Hall of Fame.
He was
John
an
Madden, I
announcer.
think, is in the Hall of Fame more
For
so
coaching.
for
Announcing.
for being an announcer than he
Plus
was.
his
a coach.
video game.
And
But
his impact
John
on the game.
Madden had an amazing coaching career. He put out some great teams.
I think he
year
was
after year. He
had good
had to
plays.
get out of coaching because his heart was going to explode. If you ever saw him on the sidelines, he was a heart attack waiting to happen on the sidelines.
He came up with plays like the annexation of Puerto Rico. I think John Madden was a brilliant.
Well, I
was a
like
brilliant
because
football
his
mind.
video game is so popular, and now that people can vote for him, they love him even more.
Yeah, under John
if you
Madden.
come up with a video game
Yeah.
in this day and age,
Chuck Noll and John Madden used to go head to
Yeah.
head with one. They used to have to separate them after the games.
It's more Jerry Glanville. Because
Yeah,
John
that was
Madden
enough.
really didn't want no part of Chuck Noll. None of them did. But there was a criminal element in the NFL, and it was the Oakland Raiders.
George
under John-
Atkinson.
Yeah,
Oh,
under
yeah.
John Madden.
Uh-huh.
they weren't headhunters.
Jack
were they?
Tatum.
They
Yeah,
weren't
I
headhunters
loved
to
it.
hurt anybody, were
Man,
they?
I love them guys, man. They
No,
could hit.
that's the reason. And believe it or not, the reason they changed the rules for what cornerbacks could do to receivers was because of Mel Blount, because of the way that they used to play against the Raiders.
Steelers did nothing
Branch used to
wrong.
get it.
What is he?
Steelers did nothing wrong. They played the game like you should.
Yeah,
That's how they changed
Ernie
it.
Holmes wasn't no criminal.
No,
No.
the problem was
Jack
his
Lambert-
vitamins.
Jack
It's
Lambert never
debatable
got
that
no
Meadville
credit
Green
for it.
didn't have plaster in his forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that had been going on for decades. Flag on the play, folks. Down goes Frazier.
Down goes
Oh, yeah.
Hey, wisely, my pizza's off to the left.
Far left.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he got set up there, Jim.
Now,
You know?
there's no more bubble gum under there. It wore off. Who's sticking that gum on there? This is outrageous. But this is live TV, folks.
Oh, man.
And this is unscripted because how could you script anything that has no facts? All right? So it's been a great discussion. We got 14 minutes and 41 seconds.
So, we got a big series coming on tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday night.
Hold it. Before you go on, the people to your left
Yeah, they
are
shut
so
off their mics.
disappointed. Well, no, their mics will be shut off. They're so disappointed because of the distractions. It's Bucko talk time.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something,
Maybe
you know,
five.
for the 13th,
Just focus on this
for the
area.
13th time last
Two
week,
there.
Jim has written off the Pittsburgh Pirates this year, and all they've done since is win.
These
So
two.
keep it up, Jim. I love the support.
Here, Devin, cut their mics.
But tonight,
Don't lean that way.
you know, a couple of injured Pirates are starting their rehab stints in Indianapolis. Josh Harrison's leading off for the Indianapolis Indians. Tonight, Jordy Mercer will be batting third, starting his rehab a few days early. They expect him to be down there for a couple of weeks to get back into game shape, because when they do come back up, they need to be major league ready. One of the things that they're going to be doing with Josh Harrison is that he will start at third base tonight. They'll start him at second base tomorrow night. They'll rest him for a day. Then they'll play him in right field. Then they're going to play him in left field, which is probably the way I see him being used the rest of the year, because I think that Gong has earned himself a position at third base as a starting third baseman. They're going to put Jordy Mercer back at shortstop, and then here's what happens
to Ramirez?
If Jordy Mercer does not start hitting as soon as he gets back, Gong goes to short. They'll bring a Ramirez in at third. They'll put Harrison in at third. They've got plenty of options. So, the Pirates are...
This is like chess, and you're talking to Tiddlywink boys.
Yeah, well,
I'm glad you're talking to the Bucko fans, because the Tiddlywinks, they're flipping them left and right. Put them in that big hole.
The Pirates have themselves positioned very, very well for a stretch run. They've got depth on the bench. They've got some pop in the bats. They brought in Ramirez. The starting pitching has been a little bit suspect lately, but you've got the bullpen that's been bailing them out.
Who's the leading save winner in baseball? It's been baseball.
Mark Melancon.
And somebody in April, these guys forgot about that. No, they're 5 games.
They're 5
games.
Oh.
Well, that's even worse.
Oh man, I was giving them a bit of
Hey, folks.
They could be out of it by then.
What are you guys even talking about?
They're only 500 on the road, the Pirates, right, this year?
It doesn't even
They're
matter.
better at home.
Right, and just on
So is St. Louis.
Since May the 27th, the Pirates have the best record in baseball. They are 4 games better than the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yes, they
This
are.
is since May 27th. So, right now, the season, this series that we're playing isn't going to make or break the season. But we're positioned real well. And to be honest with you, the Cardinals, to get to the place that they're at right now, they have, I think they're wearing out their starting pitching, and I think it's going to show coming up here in September, because the guy that's pitching tonight, Carlos Martinez, the guy that's pitching tomorrow night, Michael Wacha, have already pitched more innings this year than they have in any other year in their career.
You're a fanatic.
But you know what makes the Cardinals' rotation dangerous? They roll out 5 pitchers that all have ERAs under 3.
Right.
And that's what makes them dangerous.
Right.
Oh, I like that.
That's a fact.
I like that.
Google's the best. Google's the best. Google.
That's not Google, brother.
He don't read that. Somebody had to tell
My
him.
point being is, I believe they're going to wear out their pitching staff, and they're not going to be there in September. Now, one of the things that fell the Pirates' way is they had DFA'd Vance Warley, and he accepted his minor league assignment back in Indianapolis. So we now have another starter. They're going to get him stretched out if we need somebody.
And he should be up here when we need him.
No, we're going to have somebody that will be an adequate fill-in as a starter if we need him. They're working with Jay Happ. They skipped his turn in the rotation tonight.
Thankfully.
Pitching Jeff Locke. You know what? I think he's going to be another reclamation project from Uncle Ray. He does this. He takes pitchers that are struggling, and he helps them find their way back. And
But we
By
need
Uncle
him
Ray,
now.
you mean Coach Sirage?
Sirage.
Uncle Ray, yes.
Yeah, Ray Sirage.
Ray Sirage.
He's on a first-name
Now, on
basis
another
with
note,
him.
because we argue about the designated hitter rule, and I was sitting at PNC Park on Saturday night, and don't you know that Frankie Liriano hit a 3-run homer, his first home run of his major league career.
At least he
And
did
I'm going to
something
tell you
that night.
something. I have been, the last 2
Couldn't
weeks,
pitch.
I've seen 2 pitchers hit home runs at PNC Park. And the energy that was evident after these home runs and what it did to the team, that is the reason why the pitchers should bat in Major League Baseball.
Everybody was watching Jerome speak.
But I also heard some complaints there that on Sunday night, it was on ESPN, Smoking Jim. The Pirates did get a ESPN Major League Big televised game for the series against the Dodgers on Saturday and Sunday, but it was on Sunday Night Baseball that the Buckeyes and Dodgers, but it didn't get good until the 7th inning, Smoking Jim. So there was a whole bunch of fans that hit the gates because they wanted to get home, beat traffic, get ready for work on Monday.
Hold it. He does that anyhow, whether they do well or not. What are you even talking
Who's Smoking Jim?
Yeah, they're
I
fickle
stay.
fans.
I
I know.
You'll
You'll
also
stay.
to kind of wrap up the
Even
Buckeye
at a baseball
talk,
game.
Andrew McCutchen National League Player of the Week. He
Really?
batted .583 for the week.
Can you explain what that is out of 10 at bats?
That's almost 6 hits out of every 10
Yeah,
at
because
bats.
they disrespect how guys in the Hall of Fame fail 7 out of 10 times in baseball.
Well, I tell you right now.
What's he then?
Andrew McCutchen
Real
right now
lucky.
is
His hair's back.
the home run that he hit Sunday night to bring the Pirates into 5-3, the 2-run homer. The pitch was up near his eyes, and even Kurt Schilling said there's only like 2 guys in the major leagues that would drive that ball out of the park. I mean, a ball that's up this high, generally you don't get any kind of leverage on it.
You can't.
And he got the bat head on it and smacked it right out of center field.
He's not a power guy, though.
You know what? He develops a lot of bat speed. When he's swinging the bat hard, he develops a lot. And if he hits the ball squarely, it's going to go a long way.
In baseball, do you two tend to believe that since they had such an explosive offensive output this weekend in this home series against the Dodgers, that it's going to their runs are going to dry up a little bit here against the?
Well, you know,
The pitching will cause that.
Yeah, drop.
It very well could, but you know what? A lot of people have a lot of confidence right now, and baseball's a funny game like that. You know, you've got the confidence that you can accomplish something. Everybody in that lineup thinks that they can hit the ball right now, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. I like the way that that they're moving forward right now, and it's always next man up. It's not a one-man show, you know. And when somebody's told to sit, they sit. They know that they're going to get their chance to play. Pedro Alvarez last week, they started Sean Rodriguez at first base. They brought in Pedro late in the game. What's he do? He has a walk-off single to win the game 5-4 in the bottom of the 10th inning. So everybody knows that, you know what, they're going to get their chance, and they're all pulling together.
They're a different team outside the North Shore.
Isn't Marte playing Red Hawk too?
Marte is probably one of the best left fielders in baseball.
He would be the
now.
best center fielder, too, if they moved him there. That's where I would play him. He's a better defensive guy than...
Well, coming from non-baseball
There's
people,
one thing that
I
Marte
appreciate
has
that.
that's better than
Makes
McCutchen.
nonsense.
He's got a stronger arm. McCutchen can match him with speed. They both cover a lot of ground. Marte has a stronger arm, but the thing about PNC Park, with the makeup of the outfield, left field and center field, it's like having 2 center fields. Okay, because a lot of ballparks don't have as much ground to cover in left field as they do at PNC Park.
You guys sound like bobbleheads, boy. You guys love your McCutchen.
They love it, man.
They love
it.
McCutchen.
They love that baseball, man.
I love Go Steelers. I'm a huge Steeler fan, but you guys are debunkers. I can't believe it.
We know you like the Steelers, but you truly love baseball, though, in your heart. Though. You love the game of baseball.
I played football, so I played baseball and football. I love both.
Which one's harder?
It depends on the season.
First base
Which
is
one's
easy.
harder?
It is not.
Yeah, definitely. Hitting a round baseball with a round bat that's thrown at you at close to 100 miles an hour is way more difficult than
I see a lot of people doing it, though. I see a lot of people doing it.
Who are you looking at?
I mean, they say it's the hardest thing to do in sports, and all I see is...
Yeah.
2 or 3 out of 10.
the pitcher
Enough of this. Yeah, one time in a career. All right, enough nonsense. I waived my on location. I'm calling it back up because we had one of our best shows on location.
Yes, we did.
It was just a great show all the way around. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We were at Duke's Rib House and Grill. We'll be back there in 2 weeks. So it was just great. Greg Rudolph, shout out to you and your Pittsburgh Fight Club, the Reaction Nutrition.
Yes, sir.
I'm on the Clean. I'm on the Live or Life or whatever it is. And the 369, the Omegas.
Omega.
It's fish oil, in case you didn't know.
I take fish oil every
Yeah,
day.
and it's his stuff. It seems pretty good, so I'm trying it. I don't know if I got any darker smoking, Jim.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, thanks. I don't know what did it. I didn't go to that spray tan party that you went to because he had to darken up. I'm telling you, he looks at race. He's now getting spray tan. I found out by legitimate 3 sources. Look at what happened to him. He was in a photo last night. Bill Boyce took a photo, and Smoking Jim goes to me and Chris Riskus, another great guest who's in
Going
Southpaw.
Michael Jackson on me.
He is, man. He is.
He is. So, I mean, that's the entertainment you get. Come out to Dukes.
Oh,
We just had Skeets come on. He got his pink shirt.
Give a shout out to those two ladies from that come all the way out from Plum.
Well,
Bonnie
Murraysville. They're,
Monroeville.
no, none of it's
wait.
Monroeville.
They
They
have to
hate
drive through
Monroeville.
God's country.
They married a guy from Gateway.
You got Bonnie. You got Bonnie and Meryl come out. They actually come out without their husbands because they are sports people. They travel out after they work all day to come see us. Now that's the fans we have, and we appreciate that. Plus the likes, and then they're always talking about other guests. But we got some great guests. We had the Iron Man, Jason Bergman, come on the show.
Unexpected.
He
I
told
know.
me privately a couple weeks ago, I saw him out in the public, and he goes, "Hey, Talking Machine, I'm going to come out to your show when I'm around that area." I said, "You're welcome anytime. Just stop in." He stopped in. I surprised him. He didn't know he'd get an interview. So he told me afterwards he was very happy he got to do that. So he had some fun there. He's training. I can announce he told me that he may be fighting in Germany. Looks like they're going to have that happen. And then here's the earth-breaking.
Why he's trying to fight in the cage?
Yeah, that's why I let you interrupt me. MMA, he's going in the cage, and he's trying to get some things going. He was talking with Greg Rudolph, and they do a lot of MMA. We're going to stop out. We got an invite to go out there, all of us, so we may check that out. So a lot of great things are happening in the area. Chris Riskus was telling us about Southpaw and actually getting in a little fight with Jake Gyllenhaal. He actually thumbed him in the eye accidentally, and they were sharing choice words and everything, which got cut from the film. But he's actually the referee that had to take him down when he was going crazy. And it's pretty interesting to have local guys like this. Rayco War-Saunders, he was in there throwing punches like it was a real fight.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
I would like to see that because I missed something in the last fight, but that's just me. So we'll check that out. Smoking Jim said we would go. He went.
Yep.
So I still have not seen it. A lot of
Yep.
people are upset I haven't. I will. But now I have an announcement that you guys won't believe. And it's we're going to have a gentleman come on our show. And he actually played for the Pirates. He played for the Braves. And Sid Bream has agreed to be on Pittsburgh Sportsline
You're
on the
kidding.
24th.
All right.
I'm like you guys.
All right.
I do not make this stuff up.
right.
Sid Bream is going to be on our show, and he said, "I'll do it." He's there. Just send me the contact information. He was actually grilling hamburgers, hot dogs, and some bean burgers while he was talking to me on the phone. He goes, "Can you hold on 1 second?" He flipped them, and I said, "Yeah, just tell me, do you want to do it?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll do it. No
Wow,
problem."
that's
And here's the small thing about Smoking Jim goes, "Al, why do you even network or talk to anybody?" 2 weeks ago, I was at Jurgles. Jessica Lee does her show. I meet this guy named DJ Mike. He does shows out there at Jurgles. And he starts talking. He goes, "Yeah, I heard you say about a sports talk show on TV." He goes, "Would you like Sid Bream?" I go, "You're the sixth guy that's told me you can get Sid Bream."
He lives in the area.
No, I know he does. Well, the next day, he sends me a text message, said Sid Bream would like to do your show, just call him. So he gave me a number with no name. So I called him up the next day, he goes, "That's Sid's number," called him. Sid apologized for not getting back to me in a couple days.
Really?
Said, "Yeah, I'd like to do it," not knowing anything about our show. So thanks.
When is that? When's that going to be?
That's the 24th. Duke's Rib House and Grill
gonna
on
be
the
a great
24th. Well, he's one of many guests we'll have. We're working on some other ones like we always do. So, and Smoking Jim has now been put in the back seat with booking sweeties and boxers.
Hey, wait, and Sid Bream is the guy that Barry Bonds couldn't throw out.
Wow.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
Braves win.
We're going to talk about that. I even brought it up, and he goes, "Yeah, you can talk about it."
And
So
that's
we'll
why
have
you
some
don't belong
fun.
in the Hall of Fame.
And that's it for our show. Thanks for watching. Stay Joey strong.